The last train of the night screeched to a halt at the empty platform, its headlights carving twin beams through the thick mist that had settled over the city. Mason stepped onto the worn-out concrete, exhaling a shaky breath. He wasn't supposed to be here, not this late, not on this train. He glanced at his watch. 2:13 a.m. Too late to turn back. The station was eerily silent, save for the occasional flickering of a fluorescent light above. He adjusted his coat and stepped aboard. Inside, the train was nearly empty. A man in a tattered suit slumped in the far corner, muttering to himself. A young woman sat near the middle, staring blankly at the window, her reflection pale and ghostly in the glass. Mason chose a seat near the door, close enough to the exit but far enough from the other passengers. The train lurched forward, gliding through the dark city like a serpent in the night. Mason stared at his hands, trying to shake off the unease that had settled in his chest. He was used to late-night rides, but something about this train felt wrong. Minutes passed. The train stopped at the next station, but no one got on. The doors slid shut with a mechanical hiss, and they continued into the void. That's when he noticed it. The advertisements above the windows, ones he had seen 1,000 times, were changing. One moment, they displayed bright, colorful images of new phones and travel destinations. The next, they were different. Darker. The smiling faces on the posters warped into grimaces of horror, eyes hollow and empty. The slogans twisted into something unreadable, the letters rearranging themselves into nonsense. Mason's pulse quickened. He looked around. The man in the suit hadn't moved. The woman's reflection in the window was no longer hers. It turned to face him even though she hadn't moved an inch. His breath caught in his throat. The train slowed. The doors slid open to a station that didn't exist on the city map. A single sign hung overhead, the letters faded and worn, "End of the line." The woman stood up. So did the man in the suit. They turned toward Mason in unison. "Time to get off," the woman said, her voice layered, too many voices speaking at once. Mason pressed back against his seat, shaking his head. The air had turned thick, suffocating. The lights above flickered wildly, casting erratic shadows that stretched unnaturally along the walls. The last train had reached its final stop. And Mason realized, with dawning horror, that it had never been meant to take him home.